Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 12th of July, comes to you from London. And I'm sorry I haven't been doing so much Charts Today this last week or so. My father's in his last days, and I'm spending a lot of time with him at the moment in a hospice. So, looking at the markets, the big story at the moment is the euro is falling to parity. No big surprises there. We put out a report in March giving targets to 95 cents and below. So, and the targets are there all to see. Remembering this is the long-term weekly, medium-term daily, and short-term 60-minute chart. And the clouds, if we're below the cloud, we're bearish. If we're above the cloud, we're bullish. And I'm giving a talk at King's College London tonight, virtually, of course, my alma mater. So I'm quite looking forward to that, on the clouds. And so here we've got the corresponding point and figure downside targets, and that target of 101 has been sitting there since the 28th of June. So we knew this was going to happen. It's all in the charts, and we've got bigger downside targets still to play for. Dollar, therefore, is looking very strong. The dollar index, remember we said 2022 would be the year of the dollar, and boy oh boy, what a year it has been, up some 10% so far, which is a massive move for a reserve currency in 6 months. So again, we've got upside targets here to play for, and if we look at the yen, that's really showing through on the yen chart, which tends to be a bit of a lead indicator for the dollar. Sterling is therefore also falling against that stronger dollar, sitting at 118. A lot of political turmoil in the UK at the moment, and we've got downside targets here as well, so pretty clear. Looking at euro sterling, sterling has the upper hand against that weaker euro, and we're seeing we're above the cloud here on the long term and the medium term. 118.50 is the critical level there. To break these upside targets suggests that's going to happen. Bitcoin is back below $20,000. We've been saying for some weeks now it's game over for crypto, and that's following the path. And of course, stock markets are in a bear trend as well with everything that's happening, and we are just about to test whether we go through the cloud. New lows on the S&P would take us into long-term bearish territory. The downside target suggests that's going to happen. Same with the Nasdaq. We already are in bearish territory with downside targets, and that again is covered in our reports. The futures are down this morning, so that's going to be really significant as well. The VIX volatility sitting at 27, so the fear index is relatively high, and we're seeing all the markets a sea of red. The DAX in Germany down 1%. So again, just pushing lower, bearish on all three time frames with downside targets. No joy there. France, as we gear up for the 14th of July, is actually looking pretty bearish as well. And the Asian markets, we had Japan down 1.6%, so that's falling lower. Of course, just has been really underperforming all year, and the Hang Seng down 1.3%, again has been in bearish territory really now for quite some time. And we look at the Indian market, was down 0.7%, also trending lower there, and the Aussie market bucking the trend just a little bit, up 0.06%. My main Aussie shares were up in a market that's falling, so that's quite key. We'll look at the energy mix in a minute. Wheat is down 1%, and gold has been a real struggle below this 1800 level, and we are just back into that bearish trend. Gold, for the long term, we've got these upside targets, but we are looking to fall before we rise. So really quite interesting there. And silver below the $19 level now. Not looking good there either. Looking at US 10-year yields, we've got sitting at 2.91%. So again, just trending up. We've got big upside targets, of course, for US interest rates, so that's going to be quite key. The energy mix, we've got Brent crude this morning. We put our energy report out to clients, of course, and just looking at the energy mix there on Brent crude, we've got the uptrend still very much in trade and finding cloud support. Back through on the 60-minute, we were neutral in our report out to clients this morning. Looking at US nat gas, again we were neutral here. Do seem to have found a floor at that around that 550 level, so that's looking pretty good for for the mix there. And if we look at MBP and TTF, up this morning, so we are just seeing gas prices recovering. TTF still in a bull trend there on the short-term chart. 177 is the target on the 1 minute chart. Watch those targets on your OTC charts, of course. Looking at German power, nothing stopping German power, just pushing higher all the time. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.